Hi Taurus, it's your honest homegirl 𝐋𝐢𝐤𝐤𝐞, and this is your intuitive timeless reading. So when you see this reading is for you. Take what resonates, what doesn't resonate, leave for another healing homie. With that said, I'm here to just tell you what it is and what it ain't so you can elevate, okay? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate the love and the support, okay? It helps my channel grow. So let's get into your intuitive message first, okay? Taurus, a lot of you guys have been patiently waiting, okay? You've been waiting for a lot of things to come in, a lot of things to manifest for yourself. And I really feel like when things don't go your way, you are easily hurt by it because you feel like, you know, I'm a good person, I'm caring, I'm kind, I'm giving. Why isn't the things that I want coming in? Some of you don't understand that there are still lessons that you keep holding on to. There are lessons that you don't want to learn, and that's what's blocking your blessings. Nobody's blocking your blessings but you. Okay, you have to understand that there's certain things that you have to sacrifice, meaning you're going to have to give it up to bring in something new. You will not get anything new if you keep holding on to the old and outdated. A lot of you guys have stayed past your expiration date, or you allowed people, places, and things to stay past its expiration date, and it's time to let it go. If not, you'll stay in a karmic cycle and you will not manifest what it is that you want. For others of you, all you have to do is easily adjust your mood, okay? Taurus, you guys with this music manifestation here at the bottom of the deck of my oracle cards, you already know. Music is something that lifts up your vibration. So be mindful of the music that you're listening to. Be mindful that if you are down and out, listen to some good music. Don't listen to no sad music. Listen to good music to raise your frequency, okay? You can even go on YouTube and Google and type in high frequency music and just listen to that and just close your eyes and meditate. Some of you guys, you could be dealing with the justice system right now, and that could be weighing you down where you're going back and forth to court. For others of you, this could be like a family member that's going through this. Many of you, this could be you having to deal with a Libra that has you in your feelings up and down. I pray for you guys dealing with Libras, okay? I don't know how you do it, but okay. They're like a devil and an angel in one person. I promise you that. And then for others of you, you know, you're just, you know, trying to get your affairs in order. Some of you may be having to renew your passports. Some of you guys may be working in the justice system or working in a government job, police officer, correction officer, some type of government contractor, okay? And that could be putting a lot of pressure on you. Some of you guys, you're finally getting the clarification that you need. Things are crystal clear. And many of you, you could be feeling at this time where you're being left out in the cold with something. The thing is, rejection is your protection. So if somebody is leaving you out in the cold, if you feel like you may have lost out financially on something, maybe a job or anything like that, it wasn't aligned for you, okay? For many of you, you could be, you know, dibbling and dabbling in your vices and going back to your old ways because you're stressed out, because you're frustrated. Please don't mind me. I'm trying to look directly at you guys. I don't usually do this, but I'm here, you know, showing my face today. And it may be time for you to retreat back to and being in your own energy again, okay? Especially if you're, you know, falling short on the things that you told yourself that you weren't going to do. There's a reason why you went back, reverting to your bad habits and bad ways, and it could be due to feeling lack of, okay? You have to feel abundant even when things are not going the way you want them to, because sometimes that's God testing your patience, okay, Taurus? Because if you don't have patience, you won't get the things that you want, okay? So let's see what's going on with you, Taurus. Divine Spirit, what is going on with Taurus? What do they need to know? I really feel like you guys are kind of timid with moving forward with plans. You may not be as confident with certain decision makings that you need to make. But the thing is, That's another test with spirit. They're like, are you going to get uncomfortable to get comfortable again? Okay. So spirit, what's going on with Taurus? Taurus. You may have had a son that cost you some money. Okay. I'm seeing either they're a teenager or they could be twins, or it could just be children where you have a lot of children that are either teenagers or they are just very immature, okay? They may not be very responsible. They may not have been as responsible as you growing up. And I'm hearing shit's got to change. So you may be putting your foot down as a parent where you're like, some type of behavior that your child is doing, you are just like, this is unacceptable. I'm not dealing with this anymore. It's time for you to grow up. And it's like, I don't know if they may have had you in this like whirlwind of their emotions, and you know, they know how to play on your emotions, Taurus. And it's like you woke up, you snapped out of it, and you're like, no, y'all over here getting over on me, especially if you have grown children. Some of you may have a 13-year-old. Some of you may have a 5-year-old. Some of you may have an 8-year-old. Okay. Some of you may have thought that, you know, you probably could have been stressed because you thought you were pregnant, but you're not pregnant. Okay. Some of you could be healing from a miscarriage. I send out my condolences to you or your spouse that may have had a miscarriage. And you could be healing from that. For some of you guys, you are, you know, realizing how your finances and your abundance is connected to your emotions and your mental well-being. And that's why I said in your intuitive message that, you know, lift up your vibration by listening to great music that's going to put you in a good mood, because guess what? You can utilize music to manifest, okay? For many of you guys, you could be getting a bright idea on how to obtain more resources, how to create a job that can bring in more finances for you. Because I'm seeing like an aha moment on what you could do to bring in more stability and security into your world. For many of you, you could really be more strict on your sons at this time, where it's like, you better come to me correct, okay? Because if not, you know how I'm going to give it up to you. You don't care how old they are. Because I really feel like you have some children that are being disrespectful in a way, okay? You may have a son that may be really cutthroat with their words. They may say things and then expect you to still turn around and do for them type of energy, okay? I'm hearing you may have a child that tells you to shut up or something, or know a lot, and you're like putting your foot down with them now. Okay, for some of you, you may have a daughter, okay, that could be a teenager, or she's just very immature for her age, where she's going through changes right now. She may be going through that energy of her versus her lower self and her higher self, where she's having like this contradiction of, I want to still be a little kid, but I want to sit there and have more responsibility and be an adult. So she could be going through phases where she went from being a child to an adolescent, or like an adolescent to a young adult, or a young adult to an actual adult. And it's kind of like she's conflicted in between those energies, where, you know, she's at a crossroad in her life. We also have to understand, as adults, you know, children do go through those midlife crises that us adults go through too. I'm also seeing here too, where you are literally just trying to manifest the best situation or the best outcome, dealing with all of this, with your finances, with your children, with your mental and emotional stability. You're trying to keep yourself positive, but it could be a struggle for you to do so. You have to understand that you have to nurture you first, Taurus. Okay, before you sit there dishing out money to people, make sure all your bills are paid. Make sure everything that you need is taken care of first. And then what you have left is what you hand out. Okay, because that's how you teach your kids how to manage their money, because they have to understand their responsibilities come first and then everything else. For some of you guys, this may be you training your children where it's like you do not get blessings with bad behavior. No, you're on punishment. And you have to stand on your word. One thing, me being a child care provider, Taurus, for over 15 years, I kept my promises and my punishments. It's just that simple. If you did not pick up your toys, you were not getting a new toy to play with. Clean up after yourself, and then you can have whatever you like. Okay? But the thing is, there needs to be consequences to things when they don't do what's right. You don't want to raise menace to society, okay? For others of you, you really need to, make sure, you're getting proper rest, you're eating proper foods, you're working out, you're hydrating yourself with H2O and H3O. H3O, if you don't know what that is, it's the water from fruit. So make sure you're make sure you're eating a lot of melons, watermelons, cantaloupes, grapes with the seeds in them, any type of fruit that has a high water content in it. I did tell you too, if you guys have a garden, make sure you're taking care of your plants. Make sure you have plants around you too, so that you can feel that earthly grounding energy, okay? For many of you Tauruses too, you could get you a money tree, okay? And if you want, you could probably, wrap some dollar bills or something around it, or you could just make sure you take proper care of your money tree, so you could bring in abundance into your life. For some of you guys, you could be really nurturing the mother of your children at this time. You could be really motivating her to do better, to be better, to take care of herself, because she may not have been herself after pregnancies, and she's trying to get back in the groove of who she used to be as an individual, and, but still partake in the roles that she plays as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend. For others of you, this could literally be you, female Tauruses too. After having children, it changes you. You're not the same person anymore, but you do struggle trying to get back to who you were. The thing is, you will never be that person that you used to be. So that's something that you have to accept. And now you have to find the new you, okay? Stop trying to revert back to who you used to be, because you'll never be that person, because you've changed. I want to say hormonally, if that's a word, but your hormones changed, your body's changed, your mindset has changed. So no, you will never be that old person that you were before children. So it's time to start accepting that this is a new you, this is a new life, and who do you want to be now? That goes for fathers too, because you guys change as well during pregnancy, even though you're not carrying the baby, but mentally, emotionally, and even physically, you guys change as well. So, figure out who you are now and who you want to be, and focus more on that versus who you used to be, because that you'll never be anymore. That's the past. We're in the present. Taurus, I do feel too, for some of you guys, you may have a teenager telling you that there may be a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius that's been very rude to them, very nonchalant with them. This could have been a teacher. This could also be someone that used to be married and now is a widow, and they're just a miserable bitch towards this child, okay? They're projecting how they feel onto this child here, and you have to be very careful and very mindful of that, having your children around people that are miserable, because I wouldn't trust it, okay? I would only want my children. If I have a child telling me that they don't like somebody for a reason, I respect that, and I don't force them to be around that person, because you don't know how that person is treating that child behind closed doors. So please be mindful. When your child is telling you something, you listen. Don't force them to hug people. Don't force them to kiss people. Don't force them to talk to people, because there's a reason why these kids are doing that. And I'm gonna give you a prime example. I had my daycare babies. I used to take them to this one particular this library that had everything in it, from laptops to a play section that was indoors, because we usually would go there when it's raining. And there was this one particular librarian. All my daycare babies used to say hi to everybody, but there was this one particular librarian that my daycare babies, none of them spoke to. When we walked in, and I'm looking at them like, why are y'all acting rude? Like, why are you not saying hi? And I sat with them, doing our circle time at the library, and I asked them, I said, why do you guys don't speak to that librarian? And they told me because she's mean. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't force them to say anything to them. And the thing is, I noticed one day when we were there, a little kid asked for like a pencil or a crayon. Mind you, our tax dollars, the people that live in that county, we pay for these things, right? We pay for this librarian's salary and stuff like that with our tax dollars. And they had like a little cup filled with pencils and crayons and things like that for the kids. They're free. And the kid asked if they could have one, and she gave them an attitude and told them no. What do you mean no? You didn't pay for that. They can have it as you just remind them to bring it back when they're finished. So I went over there and I took one without asking, because I wish she would sat there and told me no. And I went and I gave it to the kid. But then I noticed, I said, well, if you did that to that kid, you could have did that to one of my daycare babies before. And I'm not playing that mean girl, mean boy crap with my babies. You could do that because you're mad at yourself and be mean to yourself, but you are not going to take it out on these kids. So you may have somebody around your children that is taking their frustration and their anger out on your child, and you need to listen to them. Even if you do have a badass kid, it doesn't mean that that's not what's happening, and that could be a cause of why your child is rebuttaling against you, because you're not respecting their boundaries. You're not respecting how they're feeling. And this could be you literally as a parent towards your child, very cutthroat, very dry with them. And that's not okay, because you wouldn't want people to treat you that way. And then you want to know why your kid is treating you the same way that you're treating them. They're a reflection of you. And I'm sorry to bust your bubble if that made you mad, but guess what? It's the truth. It's time for you to change so your child can change. For others of you, you could really be, like you could have a daughter, okay, that, like I said, high school energy here, or just they could be a little immature for their age. They haven't fully matured yet. You have to remember too, as parents, we do not fully, as a human being, we don't develop, our brains don't fully develop until the age of 25. And some people, depending if they're an Aquarius or a Capricorn, they fully don't mature until 36 years old, okay? So that's why it's very important to know your children's natal charts, okay? But they may be struggling with people being in competition with them. They may be trying to do good, but they may have people teasing them in school. Have conversations with your kids. Share your experiences with them so that they can feel comfortable sharing their experiences with you, so you know what's going on in their life, because you don't know. You may have children that are being literally bullied, and this is why they're acting and behaving the way that they're acting and behaving, towards you and to other people. Okay, bullied people get bullied. Now, we also have here too, where you may really feel like, okay, I'm only doing this and I'm only doing that when it comes to a career. And you may need to be a little bit more open and flexible with that, because you feeling like you're going to only do X, Y, and Z, that may not even be what's aligned for you to do. And you need to sit there and be a little bit more open-minded to something different that could work for you. But because you're so closed-minded on it, you're not going to get that opportunity. But I just feel like, honestly, Taurus, you're trying to just manifest the best outcome, but you're stuck because you're stubborn. You're stuck because you're stubborn, okay? And you need to open up again. Be a little bit more open-minded to change. Let's get some homegirl advice for you. Somebody's dealing with daddy issues. I don't know if you can see that, okay? Whether that's you or them. And if you haven't handled your daddy issues, best believe your child is going to go through the same thing that you're going through. Remember, your children are a reflection of you. And then we have ancestral healing needed. Yeah. So not only did you go through it, but your ancestors went through it. Your grandmother, your mother, you did, your kids did. And it's like somebody has to cut that cord. Somebody has to nip that in the butt and heal that energy. And then it says, go get a natal chart reading. Some of you need to go get a natal chart reading on your children, especially if they are not open to talking to you, because then the astrologer will be able to tell you exactly what your child may be going through at this particular time, so that you can help them out and assist them without telling them, hey, I went and got a reading on you. This is what you do. No, you just help them and give them the advice and the encouragement that they need. Okay? And let's get an oracle message for you, Taurus. Positive energy. Surround yourself with positive people and situations and avoid negativity. This is something that you need to do, okay? Because if you do not surround yourself with positive energy, guess what? Your children aren't going to sit there and surround themselves with people that are people, places, and things that are positive, that will, you know, raise their frequency and motivate them to be better. They're going to do exactly what you do. Look, positive thinking and generosity, okay? So some of you, like I said, you have to understand that your thoughts become things. How you feel inside, you know, mentally and emotionally, that's connected to your abundance. You have to understand, you have to water yourself. If you look at this card, this girl is watering herself and she's growing flowers. That's the abundance right there that's in her life. Because she thinks abundantly, she will be abundant. She thinks she's healing, so she will heal. You get what I'm saying? What you think, what your thoughts become things. What you're thinking is going to manifest. If you think in lack, that's what you will have. For others of you, again, you may have money on a chokehold. Make sure, again, like I said, you are taking care of your responsibilities. And if you do have it afterwards, then be generous, you know, because what you give out, it'll come back to you tenfold. But you have to also believe that too. Don't sit there and hand out something to somebody and be like, oh, I'm not going to get that back. Because guess what? You won't get it back. And then don't also sit there and hand out something that you expect back. My father always told me, if you're going to give out something, know that you may not get it back in return. Okay? So give out what you can and not do it just because. Okay? And then you're stuck in a jam, and then now you're stuck in a rut, and now you're in a lack mentality, and now you're manifesting more lack in your life. Don't do it. But Taurus, that was your reading. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you next time.